Welcome to Inside Asia. Today we are going to have a guided tour of an art exhibition by a very young artist from the Czech Republic. She's going to take us around. This is her first exhibition in Bangkok. We are now at the Marcy Gallery, Son Pakat Palace, in the central part of Bangkok. Welcome to our program, Ladi.
Thank you.
Where shall we start?
I think this is quite an appropriate place to start because this current exhibition is called Ode to Asia. And so these 4 paintings are all odes or celebrations, if you like, of these 3 Asian countries that I lived in. Nepal, Indonesia, and Myanmar, though India and Thailand are still missing. I have still to make those, so it's an ongoing series. And that's Czechoslovakia, which is my home country. And each of these 4 paintings is meant to encapsulate my memories and kind of the iconic images I remember from each of those countries.
How do you characterize your works? Are they postmodern or are they abstract arts?
Well, that's a good question because many people who come here to this exhibition assume that it's a group show by many artists because the styles vary quite a bit. But at the moment, I would categorize myself more as an abstract artist because that's what my latest work is like. But these 4 are, could be categorized as semi-abstract or semi-figurative, kind of a mix of the 2.
You're coming from the Czech Republic with your Czech heritage. How do you marry that, or how do you mix that, with the Asian cultures that you've been living through your years here?
Well, I only actually lived in the Czech Republic until I was 3 years old, and then since then I've been traveling all around Asia, well, Southeast Asia primarily, and studying in international schools, which again kind of made me more open-minded and brought home all these varying influences that were around me and educated me more about the countries I was in. And it's all kind of mixed up inside me, and many of the images or the things people see in the paintings are come through on a subconscious level, I think, because they interpret it maybe as Buddhism or Hinduism or...
Of these 4 paintings, which one is your favorite? I can clearly recognize this one. She's one of the long-necked ladies from one of the minority tribes, from Myanmar.
I think you picked that up very well because this is actually my favorite painting. It's the latest one, and I think this one, in the other 3 I was still developing the concept behind these ode paintings and the structures and color balances, the contrast, complementary colors, so I think it worked best in this one. Here you can see the start.
This is sort of a series of 4 seasons.
Yeah, it's the beginning of my latest, more abstract phase, and these ones are more kind of imbued with nature and 4 elements, and kind of the elements like fire, water, earth, air. This one's 4 seasons, and then it transitions to this one here, which is usually the favorite. When I like to ask people which painting they like the most, and I think this one's winning by a mile. I don't know why, but everyone seems to love the kind of radiant energy and power that's behind this.
It's like scorching heat, very powerful. What do you want to convey, I mean, your message, from this painting?
Well, in essence, for me, this painting was breaking into this new style I have, so that's one thing. And it was also an experiment in new media for me, personally. you can see the 3D effect of the acrylic paste, and for the first time I used oil paint, whereas most of the other work is acrylic. But in terms of the theme or motif of the painting, it's called First Flame, which kind of references the old myth of how man received fire, but it can also be interpreted as first love, first flame. So these ones are carry more the theme of 4 seasons, but the 4 elements or 5 elements also works its way into it.
When you paint or when you create your artworks, what's in your mind? What's going on in your subconsciousness?
Well, sometimes I do work around a certain theme that I want to explore. Like with these ones, it was the elements, or in another series, it was dreams and surrealism. But I kind of have to have I have to concentrate and just shut out everything else. You could say almost a meditative state, though I'm not a practitioner of anything like that. But many times you just have to let it come to you, that if you try too hard, it's not going to work. That it's almost an intuitive thing, kind of like free writing or automatic writing.
Are these artworks like your babies? Once you finish them, they are like independent from you?
Yeah, the best part of painting for me is the journey that I go through, and many times, if I have some emotional ups and downs, then you see that comes through in the paintings. And one of my kind of artistic gurus and great inspirations from India, he pointed out to me many times that if you put true emotion into a painting, everyone can see it, that makes it even better, even if it's, sorrow or happiness. And that's a key element of it, that if there's nothing, if it's kind of bland, then it comes through in the painting and it just doesn't have any soul behind it.
I see. How long normally does it take you to come up with a particular artistic idea in order to present it, or to start, settle down to work on it?
Again, varies greatly. If I get the right idea and everything I do in terms of technique works, then it could be done within a few days. Whereas I have one painting which I've been working on for a year, and it's just been, in terms of theme and visually, it's proven very difficult to do. I don't know why, but there's just something about that painting that still isn't quite right, so I just have to keep working at it.
Thank you very much. I think we should sit together and have a long chat. Ladi, I'm very impressed with your exhibition. Tell me, how do you feel about your exhibitions here in Bangkok, comparing it to your exhibitions in India and your native country, the Czech Republic?
Well, I think I've received a very warm welcome here in Bangkok, and to be honest, I think the most difficult exhibition I had was this summer in Prague, actually, in my home country, because I don't think you can categorize me as a Czech artist per se, that my art is so influenced by Asian cultures that...
Because you've been living in other countries.
In India, Nepal, Myanmar, Indonesia, now Thailand. That kind of characterizes my style, my artwork. So I was very worried of how that would be welcomed because it's so different from what everyone else is used to there.
In general, do the viewers or the critics have kind words toward you? Or are they frowning? What are you doing?
So far, I've had the luck of having very good response all around from people who visit my exhibition, from art critics in the Czech Republic, in Slovakia, in India. So I've been very lucky in that I haven't met a single person yet who says outright that they don't like anything.
So your inclination is more toward Asia rather than toward Europe. Do you think that your artworks, can help the people from other parts of the world to understand Asia? Yeah,
I definitely think so, because I consider myself to be quite an international person, and therefore I don't think my art is completely Asian, that it fits into the styles here. It is inspired by them, but it doesn't completely sink in and disappear amidst all other Asian artists. But I think that my kind of philosophy behind it, of being very open-minded and kind of cross-cultural dialogue, if you like, that happens, is appealing to people. That the world is becoming more and more open to this, globalization, and everyone just can communicate at the press of a button now.
But what is unique in Asia that you would like people to see or to understand or to appreciate?
That's difficult to pick just one thing because, I mean, I've come to know Asia as my home more than any other place, I think. And to me, it's always represented the colors, the flavors of how just saturated and bright everything is, whereas Europe, as well as my home country, has always been associated with kind of dull, muted colors, gray and black. And so I think the cultural aspect, that Asia has a lot to offer there.
But within, because since Asia is a vast areas, and within Asia there are huge differences. You've been living in India, in Myanmar, Indonesia, Nepal. There are lots of differences there.
Yeah, I think that's the mistake many people make when they think of Asia, that everything's similar, but it comes through in my art, I think, that in fact there are very big differences in terms of culture, history, religion, but these are all very rich countries, very rich cultures, and I think cross-cultural exchange is very good.
Ladi, in your artworks, you try to combine the three disciplines: graphic design, fine arts, and also illustration together. How do you weigh that? How do you balance those three disciplines into your work?
Well, I think initially it was very off balance because I started with fine art, that was my base, and when I came to university I intentionally